Welcome back to Fims Presents RC on YouTube, guys. Paddy with you again. Now we're just taking a quick peek at the upcoming build. You could call this part 1 if you want to. This is just basically showing you a quick look around the body. I've got the wheels already, the links are on the way. Everything's on the way actually, to be honest. I'm just waiting for a lot of stuff to clear customs in the UK. So this will be progressing sort of quite quickly over the next few weeks, I'm hoping. Anyway, fingers crossed, touch wood. Now you'll be wondering, what is this body? This is a Lanard Toys Ultra Corps G.I. Joe body. This is supposed to be 1/6 scale. This is actually more akin to a 1/7 scale. Still quite large. A lot larger than your normal sort of RC bodies and RC builds, but not quite a full 1/6. I've had 1/6 scales up to sort of a 430, 450 plus wheelbase, and this is just under 400. We're looking at about 370, 380 sort of wheelbase here, which is still, you know, a substantial wheelbase, but it isn't as big as the full 1/6 scale. You'll notice knockoff G.I. Johnny here is not quite a full 6 scale. Action Man's a 1/6. He stood to attention there, didn't he, when his pants dropped down a bit? So Action Man's a 1/6. And this fella here is about a 1/7. He's an original one that came with the body itself, actually. So this fella here is a 1/7 scale. They're quite opposable, actually. They're very highly jointed, those figures. Now, a little bit of interesting history about Lanard Toys. This is the last toy that they made that was a sort of car replica. After this, they were shut down. Now, the reason for that shutdown was General Motors, who are obviously, we all know who own the rights to the Hummer and the Humvee brand, took a large disliking to Lanard Toys, who were based out of Hong Kong, using the Hummer. Even though this is Ultra Corps, you see it there, it was never officially branded for the Hummer, even though the packaging in the carton actually said Hummer on it. And I'm sure we can all agree that that's a pretty good replica of the Hummer. What they got them on in cut in the end, after it was appealed and thrown out a bunch of times, was the likeness to the front end that actually got Lanard Toys in quite a lot of trouble. I think they ended up paying them out something to the tune of quite a few $1 million when it eventually was all settled. And that's pretty much the end of Lanard Toys as we know it after that. However, on the bright side, we managed to pick up one of these bodies. Now, this was incorrectly listed on eBay as a Action Man car. As anyone knows, the Action Man stuff, the Cherry Lear stuff from the 70s and stuff, was never this detailed. So, what am I planning to do with this? So we're planning to go some chortles. Now you'll be wondering what the hell I'm on about. So Chinese portals, they've already been ordered from AliExpress. They come with a reduction on the shaft and everything, so you know, I really don't know what to think of them, to be honest here, until I get them in my hand. I've seen some positive reviews from other users, but I'll let you know on that one. Frame wise, we're going for a standard steel frame. I have actually ordered a spare frame, which is a standard TRX4 frame, but I've got a carbon frame coming, and I think I've also got a solid steel C-rail channel one coming as well, just in case. Right, shock wise, what have we built up so far? Yeah, now you already know that I've got the beadlocks down here that I picked up on eBay. They were a great price on eBay. Now I picked up these. These are RC four-wheel drive rock crawler, I think with a K, shocks, and they, you know, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. They're about 90mm. Now I usually go for a long stroke shock with larger builds, but as I'm sure you can agree, we're not going to need those long stroke shocks, I don't think. I don't think we're going to need the 100s or 110s, because there just isn't enough room on this body to sort of warrant that much travel. If I went up, I mean, that's probably about as high as it's going to sit, if I'm lucky. I'm probably going to come down a little at the front. I've got to be quite careful, obviously, because bearing in mind your track might dictate that your body comes down straight on top of your wheel, which can make things a little tricky. Now I have got actually the front end of this that comes underneath as well. You notice there's a slight, so under there this is the front end of it, so I will be using some of this as well. It's a panel in the floor, which will be pretty cool. Now, inside this body itself, actually, if I just mention it again, it's quite detailed, actually. There's lots of little hooks and places like that to hang stuff off. You might notice down here that I've started to collect some dried moss and stuff like that. That's going to go on. The pins are all going to be weathered out, the tops of the pin heads here, what you would call the rivet bolt heads. Very kind man, Matt Tickle, thank you, Matt, has sent me a killer body exhaust with a smoking exhaust. I believe that these actually react to they plug into your receiver, and so this will sit at the back, or I'll probably put it up, to be honest with you, and they sit at the back of it, and when you squeeze the throttle, it will emit smoke as if the car's revving, which is pretty damn cool. So thanks very much for Matt for that. What else have we got so far? The only other thing I've got so far is the alley brace for the chassis that the gearbox sits on, and also a little rocker switch which will sit inside of here, and that'll be the on and off switch for the car itself, and that'll need to be waterproofed, I'm sure. It is going to be running a prefix fuel gearbox, but I'm not going twin motor this time. I'm only going for a one motor build, but I've gone for a 550 can. That's a 35 turn, so 35 turn 550 can. I've obviously got I've got some magnet jackets as well for it, just for a bit of extra added oomph, which for the size of this and the footprint, and also the quite low weight compared to other 6 scale builds that I'm sure you've seen or that you've done yourself or that I've done, they usually end up, well, they can end up really heavy, because obviously the size of them, some of them are almost 80 centimeters long. This won't be, this will be smaller, obviously. So with the one motor, one ESC, one battery, blah blah blah, it's going to be a lot lighter. So I think this is going to go okay. Things might evolve as things carry on, obviously, as all builds sort of do. But I'm quite hopeful that this will come out quite nicely, actually. I mean, if these beadlocks don't work, if I just move G.I. Johnny here and lie him on his back, I have got some smaller ones which might work, but I'm not so sure yet, to be honest with you. They would give a more scale look if they were more tucked, obviously, but then you lose performance. You go up in scale points, you're obviously going to lose performance generally, aren't you? So anyway, by the by, I thought I'd show you. Things will be here, probably clearing customs in the next week or two, 10 days to 14 days. So I should start to get lots more hardware in. So I'll show you the gearbox and stuff and everything that came from Injora. They've been really great at helping me out, getting me some express shipping on a large order that I did with them through AliExpress. So shout out to those guys. And hope to see you watching for the rest of the build, guys. Thanks very much. See you soon, buddies.